In the Pike County massacre trial of George Wagner IV took a break today.
But as Local 12's James Pilcher tells us, because he's still in Waverly tonight with a behind-the-scenes look and why this trial is taking longer than expected.
Friday will mark the end of week 7 of testimony in the murder trial of George Wagner IV, accused of taking part in the April 2016 killings of 8 members of the Roden and Gilley families. Prosecutors told me recently the case could go well into mid-November. That's after an original estimate of 6 to 8 weeks for Ohio's most complex murder trial ever. One reason for the slow pace is the continuous defense objections to questions posed by prosecutors, primarily Special Prosecutor Angela Canepa. That's led to numerous conferences at the judge's bench. They're still transcribed by the court recorder, but out of earshot of the jury and the public, to create a record for a possible appeal. This week, during Jake Wagner's testimony, defense lawyers objected between 60 and 70 times daily. Some of those conferences led to on-record meetings in chambers, which lasted as long as 20 minutes. Local 12's legal analyst and Cincinnati defense lawyer Jay Clark says such objections are normal and such conferences are allowed.
Trials can, almost by their definition, be very adversarial. The basics of being able to ask a non-leading question. Most prosecutors don't know how to do that. Every question they ask is a leading question because they're trying to testify for their witnesses.
Jake Wagner this week testified older brother George was there when the murders occurred and helped plan and cover them up. Clark says that still might not be enough for a jury to convict.
So are you willing to rely on Jake in saying beyond a reasonable doubt that George aided, assisted, or abetted in these murders? And honestly, that could go either way.
In Waverly, James Pilcher, Local 12 News.
And that trial resumes Friday morning with the defense continuing its cross-examination of George's younger brother, Jake. Local 12 News has continuing coverage of the Pike County massacre trial. You can watch a live stream from the courtroom at local12.com.